Welcome back to Make It Hackin'. I'm Andrew, and we are here to do another unboxing and product review. Today, we got some serious stuff to look at. Every electronics workbench should have one of these things. It's a variable DC power supply. All right, so we're going to take a look at this one, and let's see what we got here. All right, so one thing to sort of notice about power supplies is that there's a couple main differences, right? One is it variable or fixed? So some power supplies output one voltage. Some output a few different kinds of voltages, like maybe 3.3, 5, 6 volt, 12 volt, that sort of thing. Variable will let you do basically everything between 0 and whatever its maximum voltage is. Most common laboratory power supplies either go up to 15 or 30 volts and up to about 3 amps on each of those. So I did a lot of searching, as I always do, on Amazon and also eBay. I don't really like to shop on eBay too much. Usually because it's like hard to find stuff. If you type in power supply on eBay, you're going to get like millions of results, you know. There's a lot of cheap ones out there. Amazon, you can rely on the reviews and that sort of thing. Couple notes. I wanted to try and find a used power supply that was a good quality. But unfortunately there wasn't really anything on eBay like that right now. So I was like, okay, I'll buy a power supply, a new one. But you know, what am I looking at? Again, you know, kind of just starting out here, so can't get the top end stuff. But if you go to our Patreon page and help support us there, we'll be able to get some high quality equipment. This is going to do for now. So at first I was looking at staying in like the $50 range. You can get like used one that's maybe like $100 for about $50, or you can get a new $50 one that's probably 15 volt, 3 amp, that sort of thing. But the reviews are just like all over the place for those things. Some people say they work, some people say they don't. And one bad thing is that there's like not really a name brand, right? They all kind of like look the same. There's like a few different versions out there, but they all have some sort of, you know, stamp on it from somebody else. So that's kind of like throwing a red flag that you should probably, or I should probably stay away from one of those things. Because if I spend $50 and it works for a year and then crashes, I'm going to wish I, you know, spent maybe a little bit extra and got a few more years out of it. So I finally decided to go with this guy right here. And I got it from Amazon. So this is the TekPower TP3005T variable linear DC power supply. It goes from 0 to 30 volts, 0 to 5 amps. It has alligator clips and a power cable, and this says that it's upgraded. So I guess we'll kind of see what that says. This was $90, came with Prime shipping, so I got it, you know, free shipping with my Amazon Prime membership, and it has a 4.4 out of 5-star rating. So 4.4 out of 5, not bad. As I said in all my other videos, I always stay above 4. So $90. Okay, another thing you want to look at when you're getting a power supply is the sort of like resolution, that sort of thing. This one was pretty good. This has a 10 millivolt / 1 milliamp precision and resolution. It says it has low noise and ripple, highly reliable OCP and overheating protection, keyboard lock function to prevent operator errors, large LED display. And let's cut to the overhead real quick. I've been hyping myself up, but look at that. Typo. Function. Not function. Function. Keyboard lock function. But this had good reviews, so let's see if we can get past that. But here's what the box looks like. Again, on the side you can see the output voltage and current, right? On this side it says adopt the control from the SCM, accurate digital current design, and SMT production process. It's basically just saying that this thing is pretty cool. Current limiting, that seems to be common on most DC power supplies. Basically means that it won't go over a certain amount of current, and it will always try and keep the same current. It's got a fan on it to prevent it from overheating, so hopefully it's not too loud. That fan that's inside, it's automatically turned on when it gets too hot. All right, so let's look at some specs, okay? So I'm going to read these off my monitor over here. So again, it goes from 0 to 30 volts, 0 to 5 amps. We have current and voltage adjustment. The ripple and noises are less than a millivolt and less than 3 milliamps. Root mean squared. Operating temperature is between 0 and 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So if you're operating in an environment other than that, might need a different power supply. LCD accuracy is within plus or minus 2.5%. What does that mean? LCD accuracy. Does it give you wrong numbers? And it says that the test leads with alligator clamps are 28 inches long. All right, here we go. We're going to unbox this guy. So, even though I said stay away from the cheap manufacturers, I think this is probably still a cheap one. But if you're going to get a really good power supply, you're going to be paying a few $100 at least, you know, so $90. So here we have a couple manuals. It's basically saying, hey, read me. Do not block the air conduct on the power supply. Don't damage it. Don't discharge it. Yada, yada. So this basically gives you all the stats. Next, we have our 1-year warranty. All right, so it's basically saying that, hey, we live by our materials and workmanship. If there's any defects, you got a year. And they're in California by a company called Kato Electronics. I guess that's who sold it to Amazon or something. I don't know, because the manufacturer on this thing says TekPower. So, all right. Well, it's there's a little bag in here. So you can see our alligator clips with banana plugs and the power cords right there. Anything else loose? Nope. All right. So it's got some nice styrofoam. Let's go ahead and check it out. Da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. All right, plastic. Couple things to notice right away. I haven't even looked at the front yet. It's a lot skinnier than I thought, which is awesome because I'm probably going to have it on this bench and I have no room. So the fact that it's skinny is good. I have more room for stuff. You can see these different vents on the sides right there. You can see the fan at the back, and there's a serial number on the back. You might not think that that's, you know, such a great thing, but if it has a serial number, that means that this thing is probably manufactured a little bit better because they're keeping track of things, right? Even though it's a little sticker, but you know, it probably goes with the whole warranty thing. You got your power plug back there. Underneath, not really anything, you just got your rubber feet. All right, let's take a look on the front. So on the front, we have our different banana plugs down here. We have our on and off switch, which is a toggle switch. Presses very nicely. These banana plugs, they're also terminals. If you have the terminal connection, you put that in there. And then we have our current adjustment and our voltage adjustment. Next, we got our LCD screen up top. So again, this is a 3005. One thing to know when you're looking for power supplies, you'll notice a lot of the same kind of like model numbers, it seems like. What it turns out to be is the first two numbers are usually your maximum voltage, and the second two numbers, so it's usually a 4-digit number sort of thing, is the maximum amperage. right? So this is a 3005, so that means 30 volts, 5 amps, up to that. So sometimes you'll see like 15 03s, and you know that means 15 volts, 3 amps. So that's about it, right? So let's go ahead and hook this up. So of course there is a zip tie on these banana plugs, so I have to get my freaking cutters. Alright, so there's our alligator clips. Doesn't seem like the best wire in the world, but you get what you pay for. Here, the power cord. It's a standard power cord that you see on like desktop computers and that sort of thing. Alright, here we go. Plug it in. Turn it on. Boom. Alright, so I really like the display. It's black with orange 7-segment LEDs. I like that a lot. Okay, so this voltage button, if you push it long, it's going to give you the option to turn off the OCP. So the OCP is the overcurrent protection. So if you hold it down, you'll see this off thing. If you turn it on, that's the overcurrent protection. And for the current, if it's a long push, it does a lock/unlock. We have to press the voltage button. It's going to blink a certain LED, and that one is the one that you can adjust. Okay, so you do it like that. So you can see it's blinking the third one, and I can adjust it like that. Now if I press it again, it goes to the 4th position. So you can adjust it in within 0.01 volts. So it's kind of a pain to set your voltage. So you might just want to keep them all zeros, kind of just depending on what you're doing. And then just adjust this one. Well, you need 5, 6, 12. You can go all the way up to 30. 32 it looks like, but I'll keep it at 5. There we go. And then to get out of this, you just gotta let it sit for a couple seconds and get out of it. For amps, it's kind of the same thing. You just press it. So this would be 200 milliamps, that sort of thing. Alright, for voltage, I'm going to go turn this down to, let's do 3.5 volts. I'm going to try 100 milliamps. And we're going to see if we can light up an LED. So here's my bucket of LEDs. Got all different kinds, colors. What's the most common one? I have a lot of these greens. They're cheap. They might not even work. But let's see if we can light them up. Alright, so let's hook up our clips. Actually, what I want to do first, grab my multimeter and test the voltage. Alright, so here we go. So my multimeter says 3.498 and this says 3.5. So is it about the same? Yeah. Like I said, they said their accuracy is 0.01. So yeah, it's within tolerance. That looks fine. All right. Now let's see if we can light up this LED, huh? So just remember, on the LED, there's two leads, usually, depending if it's just a regular LED. Usually there's one that's longer than the other. The one that's longer than the other is the anode, and the anode is what you can sort of refer to as the positive. So I'm going to put positive on there, and I'm just going to kind of tap this, boom, just to kind of make sure it works, and I can just keep it on there. So it looks like this setting is pretty good for this LED. Let's see what happens when I lower the current. So if I could take it down to 0, there's no current. But if that's 10 milliamps. It's 20, 30, 40, 50. You can see it get brighter. Let's see if we can do... So this is 1 milliamp. You can see it turn on, so that's cool. Look how bright it's getting. So it's actually changing the voltage based on the amount of amperage I put in there. So I take that down to 0. Go over here. Boom. 2 volts. And there it died. So LED burnout. Woo! Starting to get smoke. Yeah, it smells. Ugh. So we'll have to go back to the video and see when that happened. But the LED burnt out. So yeah, so power supply looks good. Just make sure when you do this you keep your leads apart so you don't get a short circuit. Turn it off when you don't need it. And yeah, some breadboards, if you get the ones that are kind of bigger, I'll show you. So like this one, you can get some breadboards like this where they have the banana plugs or terminal connectors at the top. Sort of helpful. You can sort of go banana plug to banana plug on your power supply, and then go terminal connector to your rails in here, and you can get your sort of power set up that way. So I like this power supply. $90 ain't cheap, but you get up to 5 amps, 30 volts for under $100. It's got a name on it, you know, TekPower. It's not maybe the most known laboratory power supply, but it is pretty beefy and it seems to do the trick. The user interface, I would give a 5 out of 10. I just don't really like it too much. The fact that you have to like cycle through the digits. I mean, I guess you kind of have to do that if you want to adjust fine or coarse, but it looks like I might rather just have the 2 knobs. And yeah, so overall, so far, I give it an 8 out of 10. You know, maybe a little more. Amazon rated it 4.4. So yeah, so that's the TekPower supply, DC linear variable power supply. Can't wait to use it because, hey, it saves you on batteries. Imagine all those batteries you're not going to be using because you have your own DC power source right here. So please comment, like, subscribe. Let us know if you have any questions. What do you think about this power supply? Do you have a power supply? What kind of power supply do you have, and what do you like about it, and what don't you like about it? Let us know below. We're always looking to improve our equipment. So maybe in a couple years I can get a new power supply and donate this one to somebody. So that's it. Find us on our next episode of Make It Hackin', and we'll see you in the next video.